That's not a file. That's a file. Earlier this year, my dad passed away and I inherited these files that he got from his dad. They are huge and my granddad used them to build carriage wheels and later car bodies at a short time in history when car bodies were made from wood rather than metal. The first step is to remove the rust. I make a quick form out of cardboard and shrink wrap to not use more acid than necessary. I am using citric acid for the rust removal and let the files soak overnight. After that, I rinse the files under clean water and remove most of the rust with a brush. After drying the files with a hot air gun, they get a short treatment with WD-40 to prevent rust building up again. The handles will be made from oak. The lumber is milled on one side and cut to rough length. I will inset the handle opening by 1 cm from the end so that I can turn the wood directly between centers. These files are hand forged and therefore each file looks different and is not fully symmetrical. To ensure that they sit straight in the handle, I mark one side and trace the part of the file that should sit in the handle with a pen. From each side of the handle I remove half the thickness with a router. The two halves are glued together and dry overnight. This method works for all files except this huge one. For this to fit in the handle, I measure carefully the dimensions and transfer them on the wood. I then use a saw to cut out the shape from the handle. If the wood is clamped at an angle, it is quite easy to stick to the line. To make wood turning easier, I glue a wooden block to the end of the handle to close the opening. After the glue has dried, I put the handle on the lathe and turn it into a cylinder. On the cylinder, I can use my laser cut template to mark a couple of reference points. My first depth mark has to be precise and I therefore use calipers. As the others are only for the visual look, using the lower part of the laser template is precise enough. I then create transitions between the marked areas. Lastly, the handle is sanded to 240 grit. Before cutting off the ends, I transfer the mark for the right side of the file. As a ferrule, I use part of a water pipe. I cut a slide of it off on the bandsaw. A few gentle taps with the hammer drives the file into the handle. The files turned out beautifully. I honestly don't know what to do with them, but having these impressive tools sitting on my tool wall will hopefully spark an idea. Leave me a comment. What would you do with such a file?